What's good, Denver? It's Shelly Martinez, your host of Chopping It Up with Shelly at Hollywood Barbershop.
This is the barbershop. Barbershop. This is the barbershop. The place where a black man means something.
What's good, Denver? It's Chopping Up with Shelly over here at Hollywood Barbershop. I have Jarell Wall over here with Gentleman Quinn's Blunt Company. How you doing, Jarell?
I am chilling right now.
So, tell us a little bit about your business here.
Well, I definitely want to start off by saying I really appreciate, you doing this.
Yes, absolutely.
Seeing how far you coming with everything. You were one of my first barbers in Denver.
Yay.
So you literally seen my start of the company to where we are now, so this is amazing. But I own a marijuana pre-roll manufacturing company. We hand roll hemp-wrapped, whole bud, high-class, big-ass blunts. So really fat blunts. Our actual end goal is to be the most ubiquitous name in pre-roll in general in the industry, let alone in Colorado.
That's great. And these are a very good size. They're probably, honestly, I don't know, what would you say, like
2
maybe
grams.
2 grams. And I mean, they're thick. It's like a Sharpie. You know what I mean? And it's rolled very, very nicely.
They're all hand rolled.
Very
They're
professional.
All, like I said,
And
no
it comes in this very nice case.
absolutely, every one of them.
That is really nice.
Absolutely. So we try to stick to the cigar aesthetic of things. And, when I first got into the industry, you would think that there were more blunt type products out there.
Mm-hmm.
There weren't. So when we had the opportunity to develop one of these, our whole thing was to elevate it to a place where we thought it should be in the industry. So that's kind of why we had to do the cigar boxes, and they're kind of like slide top boxes. So
slide top. There you go.
exactly. So they
Well,
open
that is
up.
really nice.
Absolutely.
And then the blunt's encased in there.
Absolutely. So you would see here, you probably can't see in the camera, but
Ooh,
the
that's
whole
nice.
thing there. Absolutely.
So the blunt has its own canister here.
Absolutely.
It's inside. It's wrapped nicely and perfectly rolled and professionally rolled. Very nice. And what strains do you guys carry?
We actually switch our strains by quarter, if not by quarter, by every season, I suppose. So
Okay.
we're actually about to go down to our farm collaborator down in South Pueblo, pick up some flower this weekend. So by the time this podcast is out, you'll have new strains, and the general plan is to kind of have more cycling strains, so you don't see stuff that is usually in this Denver area. So we try to give some new variety out here.
That's nice. So what do you have like a popular strain that you keep running out of?
Our popular strain lately was Gelato Cake, and that's kind of the most popular strain in the area. Once we kind of got back into production last year, we wanted to get something that everybody was kind of familiar with. We had one that was called Member Berries, which is kind of synonymous with the South Park episode Member Berries. It was a really nice indica. That was one of my favorites, but like I said, we try to cycle through really well. We all hand select each strain, so anytime we go to OPC or a grow, we sample everything. So we make sure, my whole thing is, as a business owner in the cannabis industry, what you tend to notice is a lot of these owners don't like marijuana in terms of trying it themselves. It's kind of more of a financial thing for a lot of business owners. So for me and my business partners, we actually smoke marijuana. We actually smoke blunts. We actually developed this product from the bottom up over a 6-year period. So we try every strain. Everything is basically hand curated. So this whole product is hand done all the way through in terms of the box packaging, the roll of the blunt itself, and strain selection.
And I actually smoked one a long time ago. You had given me when you guys first kind of started.
First got started. This is
but
2019.
the pool on it was very smooth, very easy. It was a really nice experience.
It was all paid. No, it's not paid. But and absolutely, we literally the first week we came out, I had to give you one because again, you heard anytime I came to get my haircut, you heard all the struggles and things like that in terms of us getting started, dealing with Denver Realty, dealing with zoning, licensing, the whole nine. A lot of these different brands that you see out here between Colorado and California, a lot of different brands, people have licenses, but they just kind of slap onto different licenses. We have our own license. We did everything from the ground up ourselves, so we had all the struggles and pains of it. So when we gave you one, it really felt like coming at the top of a mountain.
Yeah.
Just to find out that it was like a whole nother mountain. So.
Oh, wow. I remember those ups and downs that you had. Let's start there. Where did the idea come from?
So the idea came from, it's kind of two parts of it. First, I came from Atlanta. I was from the television industry. I had the opportunity to move out here back in 2014. When legalization happened in Colorado, they had so much propaganda online in terms of, you would think it was vending machines full of like joints and blunts everywhere. So when I came out here, I initially thought that there were a lot of blunt joint type products, and what you kind of find out was there were a lot of goo pens, there were a lot of edibles, but the joint products were really just trim back products, nothing really all that special. So I saw at that point that there was a opening, or there was a demand. The product itself really just kind of fell on my lap. You know, I had the understanding that there was demand, but you know, I started working at a dispensary as a part-time job. Like I said, I used to be a television producer, so I had a job in Centennial, but one of my buddies was a grower. He said, you know, just as a part-time thing, get into the industry. And I was like, hell yeah, that's why I came to Colorado. So this is my kind of plotting to get into the industry. The dispensary I was at allowed me to do marketing, which was, you know, social media at the time. You know, you can't really do so much in marijuana, but, you know, we had magazines that we do ads for and stuff like that. So I was working at the dispensary, and one of the bud tenders there and the general manager one day, you know, we all started working together. We did a team building event, which was going out to Boulder and just doing a little smoke out. The bud tender rolled this crazy fat blunt, and you know, coming from Atlanta, illegal days, you know, you hold on to eight for like 2 months. You know, you have to hold on to it for a long time. So we didn't have fat blunts where I came from. So this kid rolled this gigantic blunt. I mean, you know, it's nothing. Not to say it's like a can of gar, but it was a 2 gram blunt, and it was something that I hadn't seen before. And I was like, this needs to be on the market. So, you know, the name kind of came to us, Gentleman Quinn's. The guy's name was Quinn. We wanted to name it after him. We didn't want to name it after ourselves. So we talked to the dispensary owners, and we were like, well, let's try the product out. We showed it to them. We had some dynamic packaging with my other business partner, Austin, kind of helped develop that. And within like probably a 3-week period, we sourced everything and, you know, put it on the shelves of the dispensary just to kind of see if it worked. And it went really well. We did 2 runs of it, I believe 80 blunts each time. They both sold out within the 2-week period. We had a few guys that were coming in to sell their own product. They saw it on the shelf and they were like, well, we might want to bring you guys under our license to try to expand this out into the city. So that was back 2015, 2016, talking to a licensee to kind of get us under their license. It took us a long time having a discussion with them. It didn't work out. It was actually a really bad deal. So, you know, collectively we were like, we're not going to do that. So at that point, I was already done working in television. And I was like, you know what? I think this could work. We put everything into it, and, you know, that's just kind of how it happened. That's kind of how the business kind of started. We did a crowdsourcing campaign to get licensing, and we eventually got an angel investor, and here we are.
Wow. I remember you sitting in my chair coming for haircuts, and you were telling me about where you were at in the process of opening up and things like that. And there was a lot of hard, you know, like bumps and mountains that you did have to climb to get there.
Complete abbreviation. There's so many different things that happened within the period of 2015 to 2017. We got a first license, which was a state license. Then we got fully licensed in 2019. So just imagine having to find a place, pay rent every month. You know, you're building out during that time, but
no profit coming in.
No profit coming in, and it took us an additional 2 years to get the full license to get going. And that's just the beginning of getting in the trail of marijuana. So, you know, we were really naive, but that actually worked out to our advantage, because if we known how much it was going to take, how much sacrifice it was going to take, we may not have done it.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, that was a lot. I mean, I remember you just being like, I don't know if it's going to work, you know, and I was like, stick in there, just stick with it. You'll do it. It'll work out. You know what I mean? And then look at you now, you know?
We're still here.
Yeah. So what kind of profit are you seeing now? Are you up to where you want to be, or you're like?
No. So that's a big discussion in the marijuana industry. You have to deal with 280E, which is, you know, doing your taxes and whatnot. Starting a business, so you're not really planning on getting any profit for the first 5 years or so.
It's usually
and
a
at the
loss.
Exactly. And at the same time, you have investors and whatnot. You got a lot of sweat equity you put into the business, and you know, I'm happy to just be able to pay my own salary, pay my business partner, and you know, the employee salary that we have. So it's a long game within the marijuana industry. We're not even 10 years in yet. You see a lot of crazy things on television. Oh, so and so got picked up A, B, and C, but really this is a long game, and we're hoping that, you know, within 10, 15 years we're still around, and you know, we're still doing our thing independently, and we're making a lot of money going that way. But in the meantime, we're happy to service Colorado, be a Colorado-born brand, and just be around.
That's great. And you know what I really like about this product is that it's the way it's packaged.
Absolutely.
I mean, this is like a gift piece.
That's
I
absolutely.
mean, you could buy this and give this as a gift. The way it's wrapped and it has all this, all this really, it looks very expensive. You know, it almost looks like a cigar.
So here's the thing.
You know?
Here's the thing. In the pre-roll realm of marijuana in Colorado, even abroad in other states, you have a range of trim joints at about $5. You have a range of cannagars that are $500. It's a wide range. So we're about somewhere in the $25, $35 price range and whatnot. That's kind of how we price ourselves. We want to put ourselves in a place where we kind of know what we're doing with the product. And at the same time, we're doing it as kind of a packaging, like you said, kind of like a gift package, because that's what we feel about blunts. Like, we really are fans of smoking marijuana and whatnot. And we felt like this should have been the very first product in the marijuana industry, as opposed to the very last product. So this is how we feel about the product. It's how we feel about our customers when they buy it. Everyone gets it like this. And that's just kind of, what Gentleman Quinn's is in the industry.
So let's say this is my first time going to your establishment. Paint me a picture of what the experience is going to be like for me.
Absolutely. So we sell to dispensaries. We don't have a brick and mortar, even though
Okay.
what we're hoping to do. Now, obviously, as a manufacturer, we have a brick and mortar to do our production. What we're hoping to do is a hospitality smoke lounge, but that's kind of down the road.
Hey, that's in the works.
Absolutely. But you're going to go to a dispensary and shout out to Simply Pure. They're one of the best dispensaries in the city right
Where
now.
are they
Juan
located
James.
at? Or do they have multiple locations?
They're located in the Highlands. I don't know the exact address,
That's okay.
but it's in the Highlands in Denver right here. Not too far from Hollywood Barbershop, but you're going to go in and you're just going to say, hey, Simply Pure, what's the best pre-roll? And they're going to say Gentleman Quinn's. It's going to be as simple as that. Absolutely.
Done. Done deal. Simply Pure. Let's
Absolutely.
go. So in the next year, where do you see your business going?
Absolutely. So this year I feel really good about it. Last year was a lot of ups and downs. There was a lot of changes in regulations and whatnot. Luckily for us, we're able to be a part of different things that go on with the state with rulemaking. We had some of our biggest sales in December and whatnot, getting new dispensaries and things like that. So ups and downs in December, but it ended out really well. For 2022, it's absolutely going to happen is we're going to blow. So that's the main thing. We're going to be very ubiquitous within the city of Denver as one of the best pre-rolls. At the same time, we've been in pretty deep discussions about getting fully financed, which is going to help us bring more employees on, be a bigger presence in the area, more marketing and stuff like that, be able to switch our menus even more than we're doing now. So what we're hoping to get, or what we're going to do, is get more financing, get a new financing partner, get into more dispensaries and be more ubiquitous so you guys can see us everywhere.
So you specialize just in THC, is that correct?
Absolutely. At the moment, we definitely have been reached out about CBD products, straight hemp products, THCV, which is a new thing we've been hearing about, or Delta 9, which is a whole different story. So there's definitely a lot of avenues where we can go, but at the moment, we're a blunt company that messes with marijuana.
Do you see yourself branching outside of Denver?
Absolutely. I mean, we've been in Fort Collins a good bit. We've been in Garden City. So we're in Colorado in general. We're just a Denver-born brand. And in terms of leaving Colorado and becoming a brand outside of the state, that's definitely going to happen. But right now, it seems easier said than done just because a lot of different states have a lot of different rules. They have a lot of different markets, a lot of different preferences and stuff like that. And what we don't want to do is just give our brand to someone that has a license in another state, which we've been offered to, and just have them do all the quality control. We're not about that at all. We've done all this from the ground up. We really care about quality control. We really care about what you smoke. We really care about the flavor. So we want to make sure that once we are able to go to these other states, that we have the full control of what the products are going to be in that state.
Now, are you tied in and exclusive with the dispensary that you're
No.
right now, having your products in?
No, so we're not exclusive to any dispensary. We're obviously available if the dispensary wants us to, use their weed to put in Gentleman Quinn's packaging. That's not a problem.
Okay.
But at the moment, we service any dispensary in Colorado. We have some reservations, just based on what these dispensaries are to the community. So we want to make sure we have good partners that are doing the right thing in terms of what their employees are doing, pricing and things like that.
The product matters, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
The flower and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Tell us how hard was it to just come into the cannabis industry? You know, I mean, how knowledgeable were you in the beginning, or did you have to acquire a lot of knowledge to get started?
So the plus side is it's all new. So a lot of people are learning, or when I started, a lot of folks, as well as executives in the industry, were learning as it goes. So there was not much of a shorthand anybody had. We all had to kind of figure it out. Like I said, I came from the corporate television world where I had to grind to get my first job. So I had that backbone before I came here. So I already knew it was going to be a lot of hard work to get any standing in the industry. So, you know, I tell a lot of folks that want to get into the industry now that, you know, it's not easy. You have to have a passion for it, but, you know, it can be done. In terms of how hard it was, getting into the industry, just getting the badge and starting to work, that's one thing. It's not very hard. When I got in, it was a lot more mom and pop shops. So when that was the industry, it was more folks needing to do a lot of jobs. You know, if you were a bud tender, you were working in a grow, you were trimming, you were helping out with the growers, you were packaging, you were doing everything. So they gave me a really good insight as to how these businesses work, what overhead was and whatnot, and what we could do. So that helped. When it came to becoming an executive in the industry, that was a whole different can of worms because the city and the state evolve all the time. So they're changing, they need your input. And at the time, a lot of the departments in the city, they didn't speak to each other. So the fire department didn't talk to the building department. Building department didn't talk to the zoning department. And there was timetables between when you had to do things. So if I was to get my state license, it takes about a year before that state license is expired before, you know, you have to get everything done. And if you don't know that, you have to renew your state license, you have to renew zoning and all that type of stuff. So it really just came to me understanding civil design and things like that, understanding how to just get a business started. And then on the second part of it is just understanding the trials and tribulations with marijuana, you know, because it's more things that go that to be said other than just getting a marijuana business. When you have a secondary job, there's a lot of prohibition that's still out there. There's a lot of prohibition as a still functioning drug test for jobs and things like that. Having to have a secondary life when you're trying to start a marijuana business compared to when you have a corporate job. You know, that's a big strain right there. And, you know, now a lot of families and things like that are coming around to it. You know, I'm able to go back home to Indiana and Chicago. Family smoking with me is cool, but back when I started, you know, it was a stigma, especially in the black community. So those things have changed, but it was really tough early on.
Nice. Do you now? Do you do like any online orders or pre-orders or anything like that? Do you guys?
So we do have a online system where you can order ahead at a dispensary. Right now, we don't have the ability to do at-home deliveries B2C from us. That's a whole different discussion that, you know, people in the industry don't want to really talk about right now. But at the moment, there is hospitality delivery licenses that are going on. In terms of social equity licenses, there are a lot of black businesses that are delivering directly to your door from dispensaries. As a manufacturer, I'm kind of boxed out, so I have to work with a dispensary that already has delivery, but hopefully that changes. Hopefully we're able to get into dispensaries that are doing more delivery stuff, and you can buy directly from our site through that dispensary to your house.
Any advice for anyone just trying to get to the point to where you are in the cannabis industry?
The truth about it is, holla at me. I'm gonna give free game. That's because I didn't get any free game. You know, I had to pay paychecks to go to lawyers and ask about compliance and ask about rules and whatnot. So I'm offering it to anybody. If you guys have any information about the industry as in terms of a brick and mortar, in terms of manufacturing, or in terms of social equity and things like that, if you need information, you can ask me. But if you don't have me to give information, definitely keep going. It's hard as hell, you know? It's hard as shit.
I mean, you wanted to give up it. You did want it. I think you were like, fuck this shit.
I mean, you know.
At one point.
You know, coming from being in a corporate setting and whatnot, and you spend a lot of time to get these corporate jobs, especially being black and Latino, you have to, you know, code switch like everybody talks about. And I don't really want to go into too much of that because it's said so many different times. But you really do have to deal with, you know, what people say, you know, microaggressions and things like that in these certain jobs. So you struggle to get those jobs, and then when you want to progress and do something like this, it's like a complete switch. It's like a career switch, you know what I mean? So it's really tough, but at the same time, like, you can't quit. I mean, you can't quit. You do what you want to do, but don't quit. We need more black people. We need more African Americans, Latinos, indigenous folks. We need minorities, regardless, Asians, South Pacific. We need more people in Colorado, in the industry as a whole, because that brings variety of product, brings a variety of thought. It helps us not become a lot of these legacy corporations and whatnot. And and to be honest, it's going in that direction. So, these same issues that we have in these regular corporate jobs, I'm already seeing them in some of these businesses and whatnot. So we need more folks to be able to at least even get in the industry, work as a bud tender. There's not a lot of, people of color as bud tenders at least. And you know what I found out in my business, what I need salespeople. A lot of folks don't even know that's a position in the marijuana industry that's needed. We need salespeople to actually go out and go to the mountains and go to these markets that I can't go to myself and sell the product for me and whatnot. So there's a lot of opportunity. There's a lot of auxiliary businesses and whatnot, delivery businesses. So, if you want to start a marijuana business that's touching marijuana, it's tough as hell. It's very expensive, but don't quit. We didn't quit many times when I thought the door was going to get shut on us. The door just keeps opening up, So my advice is, holler at me, but just don't quit. And any information you need, I try to give as much as I can. But if I can't, there's definitely resources out there.
That's amazing. And I'm proud of you for what you've accomplished.
Appreciate it.
And you did stick it out. You stick it out. And I'm so excited for you and your business moving forward.
Absolutely.
What does the barbershop mean to you?
When I came to Colorado, I didn't know, I came from Atlanta. Everything is black, so I could always go to any barbershop, even if it was a bad barbershop, and get a good line. And, I came out here and I didn't know Hollywood at first. I didn't know the area at first. So I'm going to anybody that had a little bit of melanin to cut my hair, going to Indian folks, going to, Asian folks that are a little bit dark skinned and whatnot. They didn't know how to cut against the grain and do linings and stuff. And it was very rough for me at first. So when I actually came to Hollywood and whatnot, I was able to meet some of the folks down here and get a good haircut. Then I met Shelly. She came up top here. She was very welcoming to me. And it just kind of seems like in some way we had some similar energy in terms of wanting to do something for the future and whatnot. So I gravitated towards that, and I've been coming here ever since. I had moved a little bit, so I'm coming back this year or towards the end of 2021. So I'm coming back home, but for the most part, this is one of the best barbershops in the city.
I appreciate that. And as you guys know, we are black owned as well. So let's keep it moving. We have to start really investing in ourselves and getting together and networking and helping each other with the resources that we do have, like he mentioned, helping put any advice out there for anyone who wants to get into the cannabis industry, what's involved and what to look forward to and what hurdles you might have to jump over.
Absolutely.
But, just helping each other, people of color, I think it's so important for us to come together and help each other, build our businesses. And that's what I'm trying to do here.
And there's a ton of different things that once you kind of get into these businesses, you learn that you don't know, and you want to give that information. I got nephews and nieces. I didn't know about financial literacy. I didn't know the importance of having credit, and especially in the pot industry when you have to deal with very squirrely situations when it comes to banking and whatnot. You have to be very creative with that because some of the banks that are available to marijuana businesses, high fees, and more power to them because they're transparent about that. But if you don't have the opportunity to pay these high fees, you got to be able to maneuver a little bit. You have to understand savings and have discipline and stuff like that. And that's one thing that I try to at least preach to folks that I know that we need to kind of push some of these skills that we don't know, because when you get into these positions and you finally get over a hill, you realize there's more hills to go over and whatnot.
Very well said. Once again, where can we find your product at?
It's Gentleman Quinns. You can go to gentlemanquinns.com, Gentleman Quinns on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. You can find us right now at Simply Pure. We'll have new strains coming out. February 1st, we'll have some new strains out for you and whatnot, and you'll be seeing more of us, absolutely.
And once again, this very nice, professional, unique packaging it comes with. Looks just like a cigar, but
Absolutely.
it's full of your favorite strain here, and
100%.
it's a very professionally rolled, tight blunt.
Absolutely.
With it smokes really well. I've had one.
No tobacco, all hemp. We're good to go.
That's
Hand
good.
rolled.
And it does say on the packaging, one high class, big ass blunt.
Absolutely.
So that's what we want, right?
Nothing less.
Thanks for coming on the show, and we look forward to hearing a lot more from you.
Absolutely.
And check them out on Instagram one more time.
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, it's all the same. Gentleman Quins. So Gentleman and Quins.
Get you one and try it out, and I promise you won't be disappointed.
Really appreciate you. Sharon. This is
Thanks.
amazing.
You're welcome. Thanks for being here. And we'll see you, Denver.
Gentleman Quins, a blunt